like almost the ending of March, and I just finished working out. My legs are on, not even my legs, my glutes are on fire. They're on fire. The other day I did glutes and cardio. Man, oh man. And then today I did back and cardio. And then yesterday I did more like bicep, a little bit of back, like a little bit of upper body. And then I did cardio as well because I've been trying to get my steps in. Like right now we're at 3,665 steps and it is 8:46 in the morning. So yesterday I did do 10k steps before the afternoon, like before 12, which was amazing. But whew, life is good. And I feel good because this week I actually started going back to the gym. I'm so happy because if you guys know me, you guys know that I enjoy working out. Now, I'm not a professional. I don't do like personal training. I don't have a personal trainer. I don't know sometimes what I'm doing, but when it starts to hurt, like let's say like I'm doing a back workout and my back, like my lower back hurts, it's because I'm not doing the form right. So let me put my window down a little bit so the car could get some air. So yeah, that's that. But I do feel good that the gentleman is walking with his daughter in her stroller, and the dog is like, the dog's leash is connected to the stroller. That is so smart because it's like you're going on a walk, you're taking your child with you, and you're taking the dog on a walk at the same time. That is so funny. But that's very smart. I'm not gonna lie. Very, very smart. But I'm not gonna lie, life's been good. I did find myself a little overwhelmed because, as you guys may know me, I am always working. And to not be working, to not have a set schedule, to not have to wake up at a certain time, to get somewhere at a certain time, to be back home at a certain time because work is done and all that good stuff. It's like, it's an adjustment because, as you guys know, like I had moved to a new state from New York, and I've just been embracing it. I've been taking it all in. And in the midst of me taking it all in, it's like I want to work. Like I like being on vacation, but at the same time, I also like to work and make money. And I know that at the end of the day, like, God's going to provide just like he has been. And I have to trust God and understand that, like, it will all work out for my good. But it's tough sometimes, you know. I don't know what just happened right now. Like, a car was beeping at another car, and then they went in the same direction. Make it make sense. But yeah, like, I just feel like I'm so used to working, and I'm so used to having like a set schedule where I know, like, okay, Monday through Friday I wake up at this time to go to work. Boom, after work, boom, we get this done, boom, we get that done, you know, being on a schedule and a routine. But it's different when you're not on a schedule, when you're not on a routine. And it's different when, like, you don't know what's to come, but you trust God. And that's where I find myself today. I feel like I'm so low from you guys. Hold on, I'm gonna put my seat up. Maybe that's good. Maybe I gotta, like, put you guys a little closer so you guys can, like, see me. But it's just different, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not complaining because I feel like this time away from work has taught me a lot. You know, I've been very productive with my time, and I've actually been tapping into different things that I used to make sure my retainers are good, that I used to tap into when I was younger. Like, I used to write poetry. I used to write a lot of poems, and I stopped writing poems as life pretty much got better, if that makes sense. When I was going through a lot of different seasons, I was always writing because of those seasons. But now that life is a little more better, life is good, I find myself like not writing as much. And honestly, like, it shouldn't be that way, because poetry is good and people can relate to your challenging moments and your good moments, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like I want to write whether I'm doing good or whether I'm going through a challenging season, because I can connect with other authors, other writers, other people in general who don't write, who just want to read, and so on. And so I find myself going back into poetry, and I've been editing some poems. I've been sorting poems out because I do want to work on publishing them. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it is a journey. Like, some things I've learned is like, I have almost 200 poems, 200 poems, but it's basically worth 3 books. Like, they could all go into 3 books. But last night, I took some time to like go through, like, I was dividing. So like, I have book 1, book 2, book 3. Like, I have 3 books, right? I divided all my poems into those books. But now, last night I had wrote from book 1 all the titles of book 1's poems, of book 1's poetry book, and I'm starting to put them in order of like how I want them to be like written, like read and whatnot. But I'm also realizing, like, there's a lot of poems in that one book. I have 100 and I think it was 2 poems in one book. And I'm like, I low-key think I need to divide this book, because these are a lot of poems. And so, like, right here, like, I have a whole list. And it literally says 101. And I was like, maybe we need to divide this and put it into, like, part 1 and part 2. So now I'm on that, because I was doing some research last night, and I'm sorry guys, I'm looking around because I'm looking at my surroundings, and I'm also paying attention to like who's coming in and out, kind of to pay attention to my surroundings. I'm in my car in the parking lot of the gym, and just making sure we're safe and whatnot, and also because it's a beautiful day to look around and whatnot. But yeah, I find myself like studying like poems and like other people's work, and what I mean by that is like pages, like on average how many pages go into one poetry book, on average how many words go into one book, on average how many pages are in one poetry book. Because I was like 100 pages, like I was looking at one of my books at home and it had like 200 pages, and I'm not gonna lie, it was a pretty thick book. So I'm like, I don't know if I want a thick poetry book as my first book. So I think I'm going to divide them into 2 and then do one, like part 1 and part 2. We'll see, I'm not sure. But I'm thinking of that because I most likely will end up doing that. And they'll kind of be like together, or maybe they'll be separate. It depends too, because as I was writing my poems, not writing them, but like separating them and putting them together, and now that I'm putting them in order, I'm realizing that some poems have like a common theme. And I also wrote that like in my notes. Like I had wrote let me see, oh wait, I gotta go to my notes. I had wrote on, hold on, because I have one that has the titles of the poems, I have another one that says first group of poems, I have the title of it and everything, and I have put like some common themes. It's like her, like I'll use the word her, and there's a lot of poems that use the word her and she, which basically means like I'm talking as if like I'm talking about a woman, or like a male is talking about a woman, if that makes sense. Then I have another theme where it's like I'm showing like the view of a woman. So like I'm describing the woman in third person. I'm talking about a woman in third person. And then I have another, like I've noticed another theme where it's like a male's perspective. And actually I just thought about something. Maybe part 1 would be a woman's perspective, and then part 2 of the book would be a male's perspective. That actually won't be bad. And it won't be bad because actually that's not bad. And instead of it being called what I have it called, I can put her and his. Yes. I'm up to something. This is gonna be fire, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so I have a title, right? And I have, that's just, I think I'm giving you guys a little too much scoop. I think I'm giving you guys a little too much scoop. I think I'm gonna stop. But just know that that's something I've been working on. But that's all you gotta know. Anyways, another thing I've also, like I said before, like I've been reading. And every day I'm pretty much aiming to read at least one chapter a day on a regular book. And the one that I'm reading still is Letting It Go, I believe is by T.D. Jakes. And what's another thing? I've been working out this week. I've worked out 3 times so far. Today is Friday, so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 3 days so far. I've been waking up earlier. I've been drinking more water. I've been making sure that I'm taking my vitamins every day as well. I've also been journaling so much more than I've ever have. Like when I tell you I've been journaling like pages. So like what I do is like instead of me journaling on a notebook like I used to do, I journal on my laptop. And I journal on my laptop now because like I don't know, I just feel like it's more personal, it's more private. I'm the only one that goes on my laptop anyways. And honestly, like, it's gonna get backed up. At least I hope. I gotta make sure it gets backed up because that's a lot of notes. But I believe it does get backed up. I think somebody asked me that one time if I back up my... Yeah, somebody did ask me, I remember. And they were like, oh, like, do you back up your notes on your journaling? Because what if it deletes? And I'm like, actually, let me make sure it backs up. But it does. And I have it on my phone and my laptop, so they're like together. But yeah, like I've been journaling, and when I journal, I'm very real with myself. I'm very real with my feelings. Like I literally write down how I'm feeling. Even if that bird just like went so close to my window. But even if I'm like not feeling it, I write it down. Even if I'm like in question, I write it down because I know that like in this walk, it's not always going to be peaches and cream. It's not always going to be good. There's going to be moments where like you don't know what you're doing. It's going to feel like you don't know what you're doing. And sometimes it just feels that way. Like sometimes life just does its thing and you're like, what is next, God? Like, what is seriously next? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm waiting for, like, but I trust you. And when I have those moments where I'm like overwhelmed or I'm like, dang God, like I want to work, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna journal this out, and then I go back and I'm like, you know, this is how I feel today. And it's just mainly to be real with myself, because one day like I'm gonna look back and be like, wow, like in that moment or in that season, God was preparing me for what was to come. You know, like right now I'm in a waiting season. And I'm in a waiting season because I'm not working right now. I have a lot of time in my hands. So I don't want to just work at any job. You know, I can work at any food department job. I can. You know, I do have experience from crew all the way to a management position where I know that if I was to apply at any restaurant, any food field, I'd get the job. And this is not to sound cocky, but it's just the fact that I have experience in that where I know that that wouldn't be a problem getting back into. It's just that, oh, the bird. It's just that I feel like that's my last resort, my last option. And there's nothing wrong with working in the food department. It's just that I want more of a career or more of a good paying job that has good benefits. Because now that I'm older, it's not just about working, making money, saving up, and using the money. Now it's like, okay, does this job pay me well? What's the hours? Does it align with what I want? Does it help me with my passions, my goals? What are the benefits? Do they have 401k? Like, I know some, I'm kind of young to think about those things, but at the same time, I am young enough to think about those things because as I get older, that's going to be beneficial in the long run. So that's something that I think about. It's like, what can I do today, even having a 9 to 5 or a job, help me in the long run? Because it's not just about working and just making money. No. So at the same time, I also think about like my passions, my goals. Like I said before, I'm doing poetry. I'm getting back into the gym. I'm starting to write again, work on publishing my book, waking up earlier, drinking more water, taking vitamins, reading the Bible every single day. I've also been reading my book, which I've told you guys about, and I've been like, when it comes to myself and my feelings, I've been more patient with myself. I've been giving myself more grace. I've been allowing myself to feel the feelings, but also reflect on how I'm feeling. I've also have been learning about myself and my feelings and my thoughts, and how sometimes my thoughts I have to take captive and give it to God, because sometimes like I think about things that don't even exist. I guess it's like fears. And it's not like fears of the like, what if this, what if that, but it's like lies of the enemy. If that makes sense. It's like lies of the enemy. And when those thoughts come around, I'm like, no, like I have to go to my truth. I have to go to the truth and what's real and what is the word of God. And so I've been like taking that captive and just like bow, literally, like, no, I rebuke you. The enemy has no access in my mind or my heart. And so it's pretty much where I'm at. I did spend some time with family very recently, and that was amazing. I had so much fun. It was one of my loved ones' birthday, and I had a great time. It definitely feels amazing to be with my loved ones on their birthday It's amazing to be with my loved ones on their birthdays for the first time. I grew up in New York. I moved a lot growing up, and I will get into it later on as you guys get to know me. But there's certain loved ones where I wasn't raised with, and to be able to be in this state now and be with my loved ones, it means a lot to me. Like it's amazing. I feel at peace. I feel happy, and I've just been like very like more calm, if that makes sense. I know that at the end of the day, God provides. God is there for me. God sees me. He hears me. He hears my prayers. And I know that whichever job does call me, that's the job. And you know what's the reason why I don't have a job? As crazy as this sounds, it's because I don't have an ID of this state. I have a CDO, right? And in order for me to work in the industry of, like, let's say school buses or anything that has to do with a CDO, Class B bus driver, I'd have to have this state license. And I have a New York state license. So the other day, I don't know if I told you guys, but I went to DMV, and long story short, I couldn't get my license because I needed like bank statements, because that's another proof of address. Now, mind you guys can go to the courthouse and basically be sworn in, and you're basically like being sworn in that you're saying that you live in so and so address, and they record you, you're being sworn in, and they record that you're basically being sworn into you living in that address, like that location. And so pretty much that's what I did, because obviously I'm in this location. So I did that, and like I got all my documents ready, like basically proof of address, in other words, that state I live there. But there's only so much nowadays that you can prove, because a lot of the times everything is paperless. Hello. So I was struggling with that, because now they're like, oh, you need like a bank statement. Now, mind you, I moved here in a certain month. So during that certain month, I updated my address to the new one. So I have to wait till the next banking month, like the banking statement period, to have the new address on it, and then I'm able to get it done. I know. I know. So now I have to wait. And I'm like, you know what? Let me check if maybe it's updated. Maybe it's on there. Let's see. I mean, it is the middle of, March. So let's see if maybe, just possibly, maybe it's there. Let's see. Nope, it's still not there. It's only last month. So I have to wait a few more days or whatever. But that's that. That's something that has been stopping me. And I know I could do Instacart and all that, but that's like more miles in my car, and low key, like, I don't want to keep pushing my car, even though, like, it's my car. But you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like God has provided and God has taken care of it, where I'm not like hungry to make money, if that makes sense. Like, God already provided. Money is already put to the side for the things that I need, where I'm like, let me take a breather, let me settle, let me relax, and let me find rest. And sometimes we struggle with that. Sometimes we struggle with taking a pause, staying still, finding rest. Sometimes we struggle with that. And so that's why I'm like, let me rest. Let me just take a breather. Let me just relax. Let me enjoy nature. Let me do things for free. Let me go places and walk around and be adventurous and see different environments. Let me spend time with my loved ones. Let me, And another thing, guys, so I was talking to one of my loved ones, right? Because I'm watching this movie. I'm not sure if I told you guys about it. Maybe I have, or maybe I told somebody else. I don't know. But there's a movie on Netflix, which oh my goodness, I hope it's still there. Because I think it was gonna come out one of these days, actually. Hold on. I'll tell you guys right now, if I can get to it. I have so many pictures. Hello? No, I definitely took a picture of it, like, sometime before that. I still don't have where is the picture? I know I have the picture somewhere. Unless I watched it before. This is so crazy. You ever like have a moment where you're literally looking for a picture, and all of a sudden it's not there. And then when you're not looking for it, it appears. I know I took a picture of that movie. Now I just don't find it. Like, it's not even here. Or maybe I'm mislooking it. But what? Oh, right here. Oh, it says last day on Netflix is March 27th. So I have a few more days. Okay, that's good. But The Passion of the Christ, that movie, let me let it focus. I started watching that movie, and wow, it is so sad, but it's the truth of what Jesus Christ went through, and it's so deep. Like, when I tell you, it's so much like graphic, like, there's a lot of, like, you see it, you see the pain, you see the blood. Like, I'm not gonna say it because I'm on YouTube, but you see it. It's very, very intense. And it does say brutality, suffering, sacrifice, from betrayal to crucifixion, and final hours unfolding this intense emotional biblical epic. So I was talking to one of my loved ones about that movie, and then they were like, oh, have you watched The Chosen? And I haven't watched The Chosen. And when one of my sisters in Christ told me about The Chosen, I didn't watch it because everybody was watching it, like, low-key. So I didn't feel ready to watch it because at the time, like, I was, not that I was starting my walk, but, like, I feel like now, not that I've ever not been serious about my walk, like, I've always been serious about my walk, but now it's like I want to watch it. I want to see it. I want to see how it happened. I want to see the vision of how it happened, because it's one thing to read it and it's one thing to, like, see it in a movie. And so now I feel more intentional in watching the movie versus just watching it because everyone else is watching it. So The Chosen, right? So there's actually an app that my one of my loved ones has one of my loved ones told me about. So um I just got sidetracked, but I got sidetracked. I'm so sorry, but The Chosen, right? So there's a free app. I thought I downloaded it, but I have to. So this one, The Chosen, you guys want to take a screenshot. So that actually is all of the series in one. Like everything of The Chosen is in that app. And when I saw that and I heard about that, I was like, what? They have that? Like that is so amazing. Cuz if I'm not mistaken, I think The Chosen was on either Netflix, Peacock or Hulu. One of those three. When I had those accounts back then. And I was like, wow, wow. So now it's like I want to watch it more intentionally. So that's what I'm doing. But we'll see, guys. I'm a little sidetracked. I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, yeah. So that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot. That's a little bit of like what's been going on. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When I post these videos, I might be in a whole different season of my life. I don't know. I'm just recording because I know that eventually I'm gonna like share all this with you guys. I just don't know when I'm gonna post this because I feel like I'm still getting used to like living in this state, and I'm still getting used to like the new, like what's been happening, what's been going on and stuff. And yeah, like it's a lot to think about, it's a lot to take in. It's a lot of like thinking about like priorities, responsibilities, passions, goals, life, choices, decisions, what to do, what not to do. Like, it's a lot, but I have so much faith in God, and I know that God will provide. I know that God will meet me in the middle, and I will meet God in the middle. And I know that God will guide my steps to making the right choices in life. And I have so much faith that everything will work out for my good. This is just a season of my life. This is a leap of faith, and this is a season, And that's part of life. Life is going to have its seasons. Life is going to have its ups and downs. Life is going to be good, and then sometimes life is going to be challenging. But whether you're good or whether you're in a challenging state, it's like you always got to thank God. You always got to tell God how much you love Him, how grateful you are for Him, and give Him grace, because God be working overtime. And when He's not working overtime, He's still working. Like, working it all out just for us, taking care of us, giving us what we need, not always what we want, helping us, guiding us, leading our steps. And God is just such a good God, and I feel like there's nothing that will stop me. Like, there's nothing that will stop me from having faith in God, because like I said, life is going to do what it's going to do, but God's going to do what God's going to do. And God is more important than anything in my life. There's nothing that can compare to God's love, God's grace, the way God cares, and there's no one that can love me or take care of me or be there for me just like God has. So I'm very grateful. I hope that this message, whenever I post it, helps somebody else to understand that whether, like I said, whether your life is going good or challenging, give God grace, be happy, be grateful, embrace the season, love on that season, because you can never go back to the same exact season. So you have to love on that season. And everything that you do today will either help your future or break your future. So do what you have to do now. Lock in. Get in alignment with your plan. Well, not your plan. Well, God's plan, but your passions, your goals, God's purpose, and understand that it will work out for your good. So keep going. Keep it up, and understand that everything will fall into place. So I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.